In the early 2000s, the global financial landscape began to shift as cryptocurrency emerged as a novel domain for technological innovation and speculation. Amidst the proliferation of various digital currencies, one particular cryptocurrency, named Shadow Coin, began to attract attention within certain online communities, quickly gaining a reputation that straddled both innovation and illicit activity. While Bitcoin had set the groundwork for decentralized financial transactions, Shadow Coin purported to enhance privacy and anonymity features, making it appealing not only to legitimate users but to individuals operating on the fringes of legality. Shadow Coin was launched in 2014 by an anonymous group of developers who claimed to be motivated by a desire to create a financial platform free from government intervention and corporate oversight. Utilizing a modified version of the proof-of-work consensus algorithm, Shadow Coin employed advanced cryptographic techniques such as ring signatures and stealth addresses to obscure user identities and transaction histories. This level of anonymity attracted a diverse user base, including privacy advocates, tech-savvy individuals, and cybercriminals seeking to conduct illicit transactions without detection. As interest in Shadow Coin grew, it became evident that a clandestine syndicate was backing its development and promotion. This syndicate, which operated within the layers of the darknet, was comprised of skilled hackers and seasoned criminals who recognized the financial potential of a coin with robust privacy features. Market analysts noted that within the first year of its launch, Shadow Coin experienced a dramatic rise in value, with speculative trading driven largely by the anonymity promises that fueled demand. This rise was not merely a product of legitimate market conditions. Rather, it was underpinned by a series of coordinated efforts by both the developers and affiliated syndicate members to manipulate perception and enthusiasm around the cryptocurrency. Darknet forums buzzed with discussions indicating that the cryptocurrency would revolutionize digital transactions, free from government scrutiny. These debates were biased and orchestrated, with the syndicate utilizing sock puppet accounts to propagate favorable reviews and testimonials, thus steering the market momentum. By late 2015, Shadow Coin had solidified its position within the darknet economy, facilitating transactions on illicit marketplaces that offered weapons, drugs, counterfeit currency, and hacking services. It became a preferred currency on platforms such as Silk Road 2 and Alphabay. The integration of Shadow Coin into these environments was not coincidental. The syndicate worked directly with marketplace operators to ensure that their currency remained a dominant transaction method. This symbiotic relationship enhanced the syndicate's revenue streams while simultaneously driving the price of Shadow Coin to unprecedented heights. Simultaneously, the reach of Shadow Coin began to extend beyond the darknet. Privacy advocates, disillusioned by government surveillance and corporate data mining, embraced the cryptocurrency, promoting its ethical implications of financial autonomy. Online communities began to crop up, dedicated to educating users on how to utilize Shadow Coin securely, further legitimizing its use outside illegal transactions. This international appeal brought a wave of new investors, pushing the price up even more. However, as the user base expanded, the increased visibility attracted scrutiny from law enforcement agencies around the world. In early 2016, the FBI and European law enforcement agencies coordinated an operation dubbed Operation Darknet, aimed at infiltrating and dismantling major darknet marketplaces. Investigations were hindered initially due to the advanced anonymity features of Shadow Coin. law enforcement officials struggled to correlate transaction data with identifiable user information. The reliance on high-level encryption and decentralized control presented significant challenges in tracing the currency's flow. To combat this challenge, law enforcement agencies began employing specialized blockchain analysis tools designed to analyze transaction patterns. By gathering and synthesizing vast amounts of transaction data from the blockchain, investigators attempted to create a clearer picture of user activity. These tools differentiated between transactions on the public ledger while attempting to de-anonymize users through network analysis. As investigations intensified, a network of informants within the darknet began providing insights into the operations behind Shadowcoin and the syndicate's inner workings. Investigative trajectory took a crucial turn in 2017 when the primary darknet marketplace, Alphabay, was seized by law enforcement. This marked a pivotal moment, not only for the marketplace economy but for Shadowcoin as well. The seizure had a cascading effect on cryptocurrencies connected to darknet activities. Users who once relied on Shadowcoin for anonymous transactions became wary and dispersed to alternate, less policed currencies. Shadowcoin's value began to decline as its utilization shrank. In the months following the takedown, leaked communications from the syndicate indicated internal turmoil. The developers, facing the reality of increased surveillance and diminished profits, engaged in heated discussions about the future of Shadowcoin. A faction pushed for changes aimed at increasing transparency and legitimacy, arguing that to survive, the cryptocurrency needed to distance itself from criminal activities. Others vehemently opposed this stance, citing the loss of core values and the inherent risks of compromising anonymity. By late 2017, a split within the syndicate emerged, leading to the formation of two distinct factions. One seeking redemption in legitimate markets, the other doubling down on their illicit practices. The latter group devised a plan to launch a new iteration of Shadowcoin that incorporated even more advanced privacy features, claiming it would be untraceable. With the initial excitement waning, they manipulated the price again, launching deceptive marketing campaigns aimed at reviving interest and inciting a speculative bubble. Misleading assertions about partnerships with decentralized applications and hardware wallets fueled a temporary uptick in interest. This resurgence was short-lived. Scrutiny intensified further as cybersecurity analysts monitored a surge in cases involving Shadowcoin usage in cybercrime operations, including ransomware and phishing schemes. Law enforcement's analytic tools had improved significantly, now capable of identifying anomalies in transaction flows that linked back to specific criminal operations. A dedicated task force composed of experts in financial crime, cybersecurity, and blockchain analysis was established, fundamentally changing the investigative approach to digital currency crimes. Moreover, the development of regulatory frameworks worldwide further complicated Shadowcoin's operations. Countries that had previously turned a blind eye to cryptocurrencies were now actively drafting legislation aimed at mitigating risks associated with digital currencies. Shadowcoin's anonymity, once its greatest asset, became a significant liability. Governments began to impose stringent Know Your Customer (KYC) requirements on exchanges, effectively isolating Shadowcoin from mainstream financial systems. As the effects of regulatory scrutiny began to crystallize, some exchanges opted to delist Shadowcoin altogether, which catalyzed a downward spiral in value and usage. By the end of 2018, it was clear that the digital currency was on the brink of collapse, largely due to an unrelenting intersection of regulatory pressure, market manipulation, and its association with illegal activities. In early 2019, discussions concerning the syndicate's future devolved into accusations and blame. Some members ventured to explore avenues for legitimate use case adoption in sectors like digital art and decentralization for nonprofits, seeking to pivot towards a more accepted form of digital currency. Others, still ensnared in the world of cybercrime, attempted to beef up their operations using any remaining assets, engaging in increasingly desperate tactics to maintain relevance within the darknet ecosystem. The culmination of financial losses among investors and dwindling utility within the cryptocurrency market reached a tipping point in late 2019, when several key members of the syndicate were arrested during a coordinated strike by international law enforcement agencies. The arrests not only dismantled leadership within the syndicate, but also provided a clear signal to remaining backers that interest in Shadowcoin was plummeting irreversibly. Once touted as an innovation in financial technology, Shadowcoin had transformed into a cautionary tale amongst crypto enthusiasts. As 2020 commenced, the cryptocurrency landscape shifted towards new horizons, with the emergence of decentralized finance, DeFi, and non-fungible tokens, NFTs, capturing public interest. In reflection, Shadowcoin's initial projections of potential were overshadowed by its eventual lessons on the fragility of anonymity under heightened scrutiny. The rise and fall of this cryptocurrency served as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities inherent in unregulated digital currencies, unveiling the complex dynamic between technological advancement and criminal exploitation in the realm of cryptocurrency. In the early 2000s, the advent of Bitcoin, a decentralized cryptocurrency, initiated a seismic shift in the digital financial landscape. The underlying technology, known as blockchain, allowed transactions to be securely recorded across a distributed network without the need for a central authority. This revolutionary concept quickly attracted the attention of various groups, including legitimate investors, tech enthusiasts, and illicit actors seeking to exploit its features for nefarious purposes. Among these groups emerged an obscure yet notably influential syndicate, allegedly responsible for the rise of a unique, multi-layered cryptocurrency that would eventually capture the attention of law enforcement agencies worldwide. The cryptocurrency, often referred to as Shadowcoin, positioned itself as a decentralized alternative to Bitcoin. With the marketing slogan promising anonymity and untraceable transactions, the Shadowcoin team claimed to leverage a combination of advanced cryptographic techniques and a proprietary algorithm intended to enhance privacy. Unlike other cryptocurrencies, which utilized public ledgers, Shadowcoin adopted a more complex structure involving stealth addresses and ring signatures, making transaction tracing significantly more challenging for authorities. This technological foundation attracted a legion of users seeking refuge from traditional financial systems, alongside those looking to facilitate illicit transactions without fear of detection. The emergence of Shadowcoin was not a mere coincidence. Its development was facilitated by a burgeoning underground ecosystem, wherein the darknet served as both a marketplace and a testing ground for various illicit goods and services. The syndicate, purportedly behind Shadowcoin, operated across various hidden forums, exchanging knowledge and innovations aimed at circumventing law enforcement monitoring. In this digital enclave, discussions on encryption protocols, privacy tools, and payment systems proliferated, culminating in the creation of Shadowcoin, This cryptocurrency not only acted as a means of financial exchange, but also became a status symbol within the darknet community, representing a vessel for digital freedom against perceived governmental overreach. Early adopters of Shadow Coin quickly recognized its potential for providing anonymity. The currency flourished in darknet markets, including illicit drug trade platforms and hacking services. These transactions were often facilitated through a carefully curated network of users utilizing VPNs, Tor, and advanced encryption techniques. As demand surged, the price of Shadow Coin increased, attracting both underground investors and opportunistic scammers looking to exploit the growing fascination with cryptocurrencies. The volatility of Shadow Coin prices became a subject of both intrigue and caution among users and investors, leading to erratic trading patterns commonly associated with emerging digital currencies. In parallel with the rise of Shadow Coin, law enforcement agencies began to recognize the increasing difficulty in tracking and prosecuting cybercriminals utilizing digital currencies for illegal transactions. The distinctly decentralized nature of blockchain technology presented an unprecedented challenge. Consequently, jurisdictions around the world began to invest in sophisticated forensic tools capable of analyzing blockchain data, developing techniques aimed at tracing transactions even when structured to obfuscate their origins. Some authorities managed to uncover dubious practices within other cryptocurrencies, yet the highly encrypted framework of Shadow Coin remained elusive. As the number of transactions on darknet markets surged and receded, so too did the notoriety of Shadow Coin. The first significant challenge arose from internal disputes among its core developers regarding governance and monetary policy. The decentralized governance model that initially attracted users also led to fragmentation within the project. Disagreements over protocol updates created a rift, with factions emerging to further their own interests. Some attempted to fork the codebase, leading to a spate of imitations and clones that diluted recognition of the original Shadow Coin, complicating both user experience and market valuation. Simultaneously, criminals not directly affiliated with the original syndicate began appropriating the Shadow Coin brand, developing schemes that capitalized on its popularity. Scams proliferated, with a series of Ponzi schemes targeting unsuspecting investors drawn to the allure of rapid returns associated with cryptocurrencies. Phishing attacks aimed at harvesting login credentials for wallets also surged, further increasing distrust among potential investors. Each incident led to a vicious cycle of negative press and growing skepticism about the legitimacy and safety of Shadow Coin as a viable investment option. In response, the core developers sought to differentiate their product amidst growing uncertainty by announcing enhancements to its privacy features. They implemented a series of technological updates, including the introduction of stealth transactions that cryptographically concealed recipient addresses, creating an additional layer of obfuscation. The updates, while technically sound, drew scrutiny from both potential investors and law enforcement as the implications of such privacy enhancements raised ethical questions regarding complicity in criminal activities. The odyssey of Shadow Coin would soon face a more formidable threat. As the market matured, so did the adversaries. Law enforcement agencies globally began to form collaborative task forces designed to address cybercrime specifically associated with digital currencies. Cross-jurisdictional efforts resulted in the development of advanced investigative techniques. Agencies shared intelligence and resources, creating a united front aimed at understanding the complexities and subsections of blockchain transactions. These efforts harnessed computational power to analyze transaction flows and associated behaviors, distinguishing legitimate transactions from illicit ones. The year 2020 marked a pivotal moment in the narrative of shadow coin, as a breakthrough in investigative technologies allowed for the unmasking of multiple entities involved in the shadow economy. A partnership between forensic blockchain analysis companies and governmental agencies uncovered a series of wallets that had been conducting large-scale shadow coin transactions linked to identified criminal activities. The forensic tools extracted and visualized transaction graphs, shedding light on previously obscured relationships among users, highlighting nodes of activity that led back to central figures in the syndicate. The operation gained traction, revealing the identities of several key figures affiliated with the syndicate. Utilizing cross-referenced data, investigators tracked the financial flow from various darknet marketplaces to various off-ramps, where users could convert shadow coin into traditional fiat currencies. The data culminated in a comprehensive report detailing a web of transactions that spanned multiple countries and jurisdictions. This marked a crucial turning point as the investigative efforts intensified, with several arrests following as law enforcement could no longer ignore the deep ramifications associated with the proliferation of shadow coin. The legal proceedings against those involved in the shadowy operations led to an array of revelations surrounding the syndicate's operations and its intricate financial ecosystem. The ensuing trials exposed elements of trust, loyalty, and betrayal among participants as former allies turned informants, providing insights into the internal workings of the organization. Unraveled conversations from encrypted communication platforms revealed intricate planning sessions focused on evading detection, showcasing a level of sophistication previously uncharacteristic of conventional criminal organizations. As the legal landscape surrounding shadow coin shifted, the rank-and-file users facing increasing scrutiny began to withdraw, leaving the cryptocurrency in a state of gradual decline. The market, once characterized by fervor and speculation, transitioned into a landscape marked by uncertainty. While the original developers endeavored to continue developing and maintaining their technological framework, they faced insurmountable challenges in re-establishing user trust amidst the revelations of criminal exploits linked to their platform. The once celebrated currency transformed into a pariah within the broader cryptocurrency market, leading to irreversible shifts in user sentiment. By early 2021, the downfall of shadow coin had reached its apex, with leading exchanges delisting the cryptocurrency following rising pressure from regulatory authorities. Users began to rush to liquidate their holdings, driven by fears of impending regulation and the potential for criminal liability. This exodus acted as a catalyst for further price declines, rendering the once promising cryptocurrency largely irrelevant in the evolving landscape of digital currencies. As shadow coin entered an irreversible cycle of obsolescence, it stood as a monument to the risks associated with decentralization and the shadowy existence that once propelled its rise. The tangled web of digital finance that enabled its existence ultimately led to its demise, leaving behind a cautionary tale for both investors and innovators alike. The new era of cryptocurrencies, marked by increased regulatory scrutiny and technological complexity, had begun to take shape, reshaping the dynamics of digital finance for years to come.